Hey friends, this is Karen from Blue Rooster Farm, and today we're in the sewing room and we have the July Sew Sampler box, and I'm going to be opening this in just a second. These are great boxes, they have lots of fun things, and I will share with you what's in this box. Also, if you stick around after the Sew Sampler reveal, I am going to be sharing and talking about some of the things we've done since our last Sew Sampler box from June. And then at the very end, I'm going to share with you some of my patriotic or Americana quilts that I've made, pillows, table toppers, things that I've made in the past several years that you might be interested in. So if you're interested in all of that, stick around. Thanks for sticking around. Like I said in the intro, today we're going to be opening up and revealing the contents of the Sew Sampler box, which is a subscription box for Fat Quarter Shop. And it is a monthly subscription box. It has fabric, notions, patterns, things like that in it. It runs $29.95, and then you also pay shipping and tax. And I think mine is between $37 and $39 altogether. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's always a good deal for what you have inside. So let's get it open and see what's inside. So I'm going to, all right. And when you open the box, you always have this cardstock on the front, and it tells you the theme of the box, and this one says Sew Sampler Summer Love July 2025. And then on the back of this piece of cardstock here, we always have a coupon for the subscriber, and this coupon is 15% off RFL thread, and it also has a little reminder about a mystery quilt that they're going to be doing called Autumn Nights, and there is a QR code to show some of the different materials they are going to be using if you want to get the fabric. So that is something that will be coming up soon for everyone, and they're just kind of letting the subscribers know what it is. Then we always have a quilt that they have as a free quilt on Fat Quarter Shop that they do a tutorial on and give you the free pattern. And they take that quilt and they color it in the fabric that's in the box. And so here is the quilt that they have here. It's the Fat Quarter Flowers Shortcut Quilt Pattern. And I don't recognize the fabric. That is a cute little pattern, and again, that's free for everyone. I don't know for sure what the pattern is. The colors are pretty, and I guess they're going along with love. They're a bit romantic fabrics, so let's see what's in it. We always also have this little leaflet here, and it gives us information about everything in the box. And so let's get started. The first thing we can pull out is, this is really nice. This is a big spool of Aurifil. A lot of times we get the little ones, and this one is a larger one, and this one is color 6722. And I'm looking to see if there's any name of it. No. But that is 100% cotton, I believe. Yep, 100% cotton, and that's a nice spool of thread. And it's a color that I use all the time, so I'm, like I said in all my other videos, glad to always get the Aurifil because I'm always making a little bit of a collection. I don't normally splurge on it myself, but it's nice when it comes in a subscription box. The next thing that I see in here, a couple of things, are some Wonder Clips. And I don't know if there's anything different about them. They are a pretty color. Maybe that is something. It's Clover Wonder Clips. And the value of these are $6.98. The value of the Aurifil thread is $13.98. So it is a higher amount of money for the Aurifil, but it does have 1,422 yards. It is a really fine thread and it sews really nice. The Wonder Clips, it says, these pink Wonder Clips by Clover are the same amazing clips you know and love. Now rocking a fabulous pink hue. With their wide openings, flat bases, and handy measuring guides, they're the ultimate multitaskers, perfect for binding quilts, securing thick layers, and more. This exclusive pink shade from Fat Quarter Shop is a beloved favorite, and we can't help but smile every time we clip with these beauties. So it's a new color, and it looks like it's an exclusive just for Fat Quarter Shop. And it says Sew Sampler got it first. That means it will be online at their store as soon as the Sew Sampler boxes are all out. So these are something new. Again, $6.98. And the Wonder Clips are really nice, and there are knockoff brands that you can get, but these do seem to be really a tighter. Let me see if these are. I have noticed the Wonder Clips are pretty tight and they hold real well. Yeah, they're quite tight, and they also, like they said, have the measurements on them, and so that does help. So these are nice, just the little ones, which I use all the time. All right, the next thing I see in here is a friction fine liner. And this looks a little different. It feels like it's more of a felt type friction pin. Let me read about it. There it is. So the value of this is $1.98. Every quilter needs a strong, dark, and handy fabric marker. Meet the Pilot Friction Fine Liner. Its smooth, erasable ink glides over fabric like a dream without snagging or pulling. The secret is thermosensitive ink that vanishes with a swipe of heat or friction. Just grab your iron and poof. They're perfect for half square triangles, applique tracing, and all your creative quilting adventures. So this one they're saying, and that might be why it felt more like a felt or like a felt tip marker. They're saying that when you run it across fabric, it doesn't snag, and it doesn't. A lot of times if you see in my tutorials where I'm trying to go back and forth a little bit with my friction pen, it's because it's kind of sticking. These, and I can just show you right here, it just draws nice and smooth. It feels like a felt tip marker. So that's cool. And again, it's supposed to either erase with a little friction, and if you're using paper, this little thing on the end of it will erase it. If you're using it on fabric, just put some heat on it and it disappears, which is very nice. So that's a nice one. I haven't seen these yet. Very good. All right, now we're ready for some fabric. So we have some really pretty fabric here, and this is art gallery fabrics, and I don't know that we've ever received art gallery fabrics in our Sew Sampler. I don't think since I've had it. And it is called Romantica. Oh, it's very pretty. And there is let me open this up. And there are 8 fabric quarters in here. So let's see what we have. Now I know that, get some scissors, that the art gallery fabrics have a really nice feel to them. They feel really finely woven. Just really soft. So we have one that has some florals on it. Very nice, light, some pinks, some mints, a little bit of green on a cream background. This one is a very neutral color. Let me see if I can hold that up. Very pretty. And then this one reminds me of vintage sheets. That's really pretty. And I think you're getting a little bit of a pink. It's a cream color if it's coming off the same as it is on my camera. That's a cream background. This is a pink background, and this is just really sweet. Real tiny little tulips, it looks like. Oh, this is neat. Kind of a chain. And that is a cream or white background. Ooh, this is pretty. A pink on white or cream. It looks like it's pink on the camera, but it's not. It's a cream or white background. Very pretty. And this one looks like vintage sheets too. I like that. It's a light mint with that pattern on it. And the last one, this is really cool. Kind of a cross hatch fabric in a minty or turquoise blue with stars on it. Very pretty. So those are some art gallery fabrics, and that was Romantica. And it says the value of these are $29.48. And it says this set of 8 fat quarters, known as Romantica, is a stunning selection for the Curator collection that will take your breath away. And it's, when I say Curator, they've got cure and then they've got the number 8 and then TOR. So it must be part of a collection. So it is from the Curator collection that will take your breath away, featuring delicate floral designs by AGF Studio for Art Gallery Fabrics. It combines gentle pastels and blossoms with modern texture and style, with the premium soft silky smoothness from Art Gallery Fabrics. This collection is bound to sweep you off your presser feet. So that's very nice, very nice. Okay, let's see what pattern goes with it. And this is called Serenade, 56.5 by 56.5. And you can see those fabrics are in the background and in some of those side blocks and top and bottom blocks. It looks like that teal there is a fabric that you have to purchase. So you can make with this a table runner, which is a 20.5 by 68.5, or the lap quilt, which is 56.5 by 56.5. You do need to buy the background, you need to buy the solid and the binding. So you would have to get the cream, the darker teal, and then the binding. But that's very pretty, very pretty. I like that. Serenade. And it looks like a very, I think, simple. Let me see. It does have a square and a square block, and you could always use the papers for it and buy those, but it's just putting the corners on with the stitch and flip method, and that works fine. And then it's a nine piece that you just sew together as a 9 patch. Very cute, very cute. All right, Serenade. And that pattern had a value of $9.98. We composed the Serenade just for you. The Symphony of a Quilt by Fat Quarter Shop hits all the right notes with the Carpenter's Star quilt block. Perfectly harmonious with the Romantica fabric bundle in this month's box. Pair them up for a duet that will become your song of the summer. All right, and our final thing in our box is our monthly block of the month. This is July's, and it is called Block 4 Party Time Block, and time is spelled T-H-Y-M-E. So that's cute. And again, these are really big blocks, 18.5 inches by 18.5 inches. So each of those smaller blocks in there are going to be a 9.5 inch block. So you've got very large blocks there. And that doesn't look hard at all. I see some half square triangles. I see some stitch and flips. That is very pretty. So if you have been following the others, this is block 4, and there will be 12, I believe, altogether. And then they'll have the finishing at the end, how to put them together. So that's very pretty. So what do you think? We've got the Ariel thread, the Wonder Clips, the friction pin, the 2 patterns, and our fat quarters. And all of these things I feel are something that I'm going to use. I wouldn't buy this for myself because, like I've said in the past, I'd rather spend my money on pretty fabric, but I love RFL thread. So anytime it's in a box, I love it. And I love the friction pins, and I always use the Wonder Clips, and I never can have enough, so that is great. So let me know what you think, and I hope that you enjoyed this box opening. Now, if you stick around, I'm going to be right back, and we're going to talk about some of the projects that we just finished up this past month. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you some of my quilts that are Americana or patriotic. And I also have some pillowcases, or some pillows, I guess, and some runners and things that I've made in the past several years that I thought, since I've got them laying around the house, decorating the house, this is a perfect time to share them and show them to you and give you some information if that's something that you're interested in making. I'll have this quilt in it as well, and I'll tell you all about this quilt. So I'll be back in just a sec. All right, we're back. And it may have only been a couple of seconds for you, but for me, it's been several hours, and as you can see, it's now dark out. I think you probably could have seen the windows before, but something came up, nothing big, just life. And so I stopped, and now I'm just getting back. So we've had dinner, we've gotten things cleaned up, and it's just about bedtime here, but I'm gonna finish this video. So I told you that I wanted to share with you what we had done since our last Sew Sampler, and I know I have lots of viewers on here today that have not seen other videos. They're just checking this video out. So some of these things that they see or that you are seeing, you can go back in my videos at Blue Rooster Farm and you can find these and you can get the patterns too. So the first thing I want to talk about is I released the Bluebird pattern, and that was a real favorite for a lot of people, me included. And, I've got the Bluebird block that I made actually in the runner that I'm going to show you in just a second. But I love that block so much that I thought, I think I'm going to try to reduce it, and I'm going to try to do it in a 4-inch block because I'd love to have a pin cushion with that bluebird on it. So I did that, and here is, and I've just got it on one of my boards so that you can see it without the light going through it. So there it is. That is a 4.5-inch block. It'll be 4 inches finished. And I thought it turned out really cute. This is going to be turned into a pin cushion, kind of like, and this one's got the pins all sticking in it, kind of like this one here. This was my B one. So I'll just turn it into a boxy pin cushion just like this. And I think that's going to be really cute. So I've got that done. It wasn't hard, and you just go back and find my video on reducing patterns. And this was an 8-inch, so bringing it down to a 4-inch was no funky numbers or anything like that. It reduced very nicely. A lot of the numbers repeated, so you only had to figure so many numbers. And then the only thing I want to tell you when working with these small blocks, because as you can see, like that little beak right there, that's a teeny tiny block. It started off, I believe, as a 3/4 inch square. But when you're making these tiny blocks that have lots of tiny pieces, I suggest you starch. And what I use, I still have some of the liquid starch. Was it Stay Flow? I think that's what it is. And I use it at, I don't know, not full power or anything like that, but I just give it a good soaking in that. And then I take my iron and I just lay it on the, and you don't need much fabric for this, there's just small pieces. I just put it on the iron straight on it, let it heat it up, flip it over, let it heat it up, and just keep doing that until it's dry, and then just set it down and let it cool. And the fabric will be kind of like paper. It'll be very stiff, and I think you can tell that it is not flimsy at all. And so once you get it nice and stiff, then cut your pieces from that. And they sew up so easily like that, but you still need to make sure you're getting your 1/4 inch really accurate on that 1/4 inch seam. And also you want to make sure you're cutting very accurately too. But I thought this went together quite easily, and it was a fun one to make. So if you've made the 8-inch and you'd like to give this a try, pull up those reduction worksheets in the enlarging and reducing a quilt block video, and I'll try to put a link down below here, and figure it out. It doesn't take but a second to do because we've got lots of repeating numbers, but I think you'll like it and I think you'll have fun. So I hope to get that made soon, and I'll try to share it with you when I get it done. But that's that bluebird block that we did earlier this month. Then we did our tea towel of the month, and July's tea towel of the month was Patriotic Sue, and I thought she turned out really cute, and I know a lot of you guys really like this one too. I love the fabric. This is the Minnick and Simpson fabric, as is this, and I think it just makes it really look cute. I also shared with you that I had put it on a pillow, so you don't have to make tea towels. You can put them on blocks and then turn them into whatever you want. So I thought these turned out really cute. Then I took that bluebird block, like I told you a while ago, and I used that as the centerpiece of this runner. Scoot back here. And there is the centerpiece, 2 bluebirds facing each other. And I used the strawberry block, the cherry block, and the flag block that we had been putting together earlier in the month before. So we just incorporated all those blocks together to make this really fun bed runner. You could use it as just a table runner. You could make a whole quilt out of it just by putting several of these together. So I taught this chain block too, which made it really come together nicely. So if you like this one, there's a video on how to put this together as well as all of those other blocks. They are all free on my site. So those are the ones that we've done. And then I just released a couple days ago our dish mat of the month, and this is for August. And there is August dish mat of the month. And I really like that one. I'm getting lots of compliments on it. So I think everybody is really liking this one. And a lot of people are saying they're turning it into other things as well. So I hope this helps make something really cute for you. But this was a fun one to make. So there are the things that we have done in the past month since our last Sew Sampler. Now I'm going to share some of my quilts that are patriotic or Americana that you might have questions about, like this one right here and the one that I have in my video. And then several of them that I'm sharing today are also free patterns. Some of them are patterns that I just made up using common blocks that you can find the patterns for. But I'm not going to hold the quilts up because it's just me and it's a little hard to hold those up. So I'm going to do videos of them on the floor. But here is my collection of Americana quilts, runners, pillows, all of those things. And I hope you enjoy it. And I'll come right back after it's finished. The first quilt that I'm sharing with you is a quilt out of this book, Pre-Cut Parade by Jessica Dayan, and it is called Tessa, and I've made it a couple of years ago. This book came out in 2022, but it's no longer being published because Martingale is no longer a publishing company. So you can still find this in quilt shops or online, but it's no longer being published. But I used, of course, Minnick & Simpson fabric because I thought it would look really nice in these patriotic colors. And I really like the design. It's an on-point quilt, and it's just 2 blocks. And there is the fabric that she originally used in her quilt right there. This next quilt is a free downloadable pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. And I made this a couple of years ago. I used Bunny Hill fabric. I believe it's called Prairie Days. And I adjusted the blocks just a little bit because they were using 4-inch squares for those red triangles. And I wanted to use a layer cake. And I figured if I did that, I would want to use 5-inch triangles. And so my quilt came out just a little bit wider, about 10 inches, but I did not make it rectangular. They make it rectangular by adding a border at the top and the bottom. I just kept mine square. So mine was about 10 inches larger, but I thought it came out real nice. Here is another free project, and it's called Liberty Star Banner, and it's designed by Kim Deal, and it can be a door banner or it can be a runner. I usually use it on the dining room table, and I use it as a runner. I used fabric by Betsy Chuchian, and I used Maria's Sky. That was the line, and I thought it came out really cute. And again, that's a free downloadable pattern, and it is on the Henry Glass site, and I should be able to put some of the links down below. This one I've had lots of questions about. It is the one that I've had hanging behind me on my quilting frame, and I made this I think in 2021, and it was a kind of a mystery quilt put on by Primitive Gatherings. Lisa Bonjean is the owner and designer, and she designed this quilt, and it was a real fun one because you got to do all the stripes ahead of time, And then each of those little blue blocks were released. I don't remember if it was weekly or what. And they're smaller blocks, so it gave you a lot of practice in piecing smaller pieces. And I thought it was really a fun quilt to do. Now, at the time it was free, but now you have to purchase it. And it is on her website at Primitive Gatherings. I did not use any specific fabric line. This was a quilt that I made from my stash and scraps, and I think it turned out really nice. And this quilt is another one that was a sew-along with Primitive Gatherings. And this was a mystery quilt, and it was done the year after the one I just showed you. So it was 2022. And I used the American Gatherings 1 fabric. And this was a mystery quilt, and each week we were given, like, make 15 9 patches, make 100 quarter square triangles, something like that. And so we would make each of those, and we would have them ready. And then all of a sudden we had a clue that said to make like 1,200 1-inch half square triangles. And at the time I was still working, and so there was no way I was going to get that done. And so I just kind of stopped and set it aside, thinking, well, let me think about it. So I let it set for a couple of years, and then I decided I need to get it done, and I just did not want to do all of those triangles. So I decided I would put a shoe fly block in the place of the block that had all the triangles. So the quilt had the Ohio Star block already designed, and then I just alternated that with the shoe fly block. And the shoe fly block had a 9 patch in the middle too. So I thought it came out just fine. And here is the quilt that was the original quilt, and as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. I may go back and make that one day, but at the time I just couldn't see myself getting it done. And I still need to get this one quilted. I was planning on it this summer, but it hasn't happened yet. This pattern is available at Primitive Gatherings if you're interested. Now here's just a mishmash of pillows that I've put together over the last couple of years, and you should recognize that one. That's the one we just did recently on one of my videos. This one, I think I just came up with this pattern, I cannot remember for sure, and turned it into a pillow. I had a pillow at a certain length, and I just needed to make a cover for it, and so I think I just made it specifically for the pillow that I had. And then I had leftover stripes, and so I went ahead and made 2 easy blocks and turned that into pillows. So that just went along with that Oh Say Can You Sew quilt along. These next 2 that I'm sharing here are just a few little table toppers. And this one right here, I just used the scraps I had left over from the runner that I had made. It was Liberty Star Banner that I had shared with you just a little earlier. And I just had some scraps, and I just made that little topper for a table that I had. And then this little runner measures 18 inches by 28 inches, and it is from the Running Dough Quilts company. It's just a little card, and it's called Little Liberty. And so those little cards usually just cost a couple of dollars, and it was a fun one to make. And I just used scraps out of my stash. So those 2 were just fun little runners that I enjoyed making. Of course, I had to share this one with you again. This one is the one, of course, that we just finished making. And for those of you who are new to my channel, all of these blocks I have tutorials for, and I also have a tutorial to put them all together. So you're welcome to go back to those videos and download the cutting instructions and make them for yourself. but this is how I put them all together, and this is a nice size bed runner, and I think it turned out really cute. This runner also uses fabric from different lines of Minnick and Simpson. This quilt right here, I opted not to take down because it's hard to get back up. So if you want to see a full picture of it, just look in the intro of my videos. I have it in the intro, and I've got lots of people that have asked about this one. And there is not a pattern for this. This is something I just kind of put together a couple years ago. I can share with you though that the bird block is a free pattern on Tilda Fabrics homepage, and that's where I got that block. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing all those quilts and pillows and runners. I've been making them for several years, and those are the ones that I've decorated my house with this year, so I've had them out, and I figured before I start putting them away for the season, I would just share them with you, because if you're like me, you like to see other people's quilts and you like to get ideas and inspirations by looking at others. And if there's a free one, it's nice to know so that you can make it too. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to like and share. If you know people who are enjoying sewing, quilting, and all the fun crafts of applique and things like that, share this video with them. So thanks so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you back here soon. Bye-bye. Well, right after my video, I decided to go ahead and finish up this bluebird pincushion, and I got it done. I added one of our tags that I had shared with you on our video about how to make your own tags. And I like this one so much, I decided to make a couple of pins for it, and I thought they turned out really cute too. So let me know if you're going to make one, and if you do and you want to share it, just put a picture under the Facebook posting of this video, and I'd love to see it. Thanks for watching.